Welcome to Your Time to Thrive with personal fitness coach Jason Stevenson.
Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday. Looks like another week went by, and here we are again. Thank you for listening. Whether you're live listening to us, watching us on whatever streaming system you're using, or you're listening to us record it, we appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the show. Today is the middle of the week, and today is another amazing day for me to spend time with a very good friend of mine, Mr. Benjamin Barber, our man behind the scenes. Whenever we have people on, he's still part of the show. But it's a great way for me actually to spend the middle of the week, that hump day thing everybody talks about. The middle of the week for me is always a good day. I feel like it gives you a little bit of piss and vinegar, don't you? Like Monday you wake up, you're like, all right, this is gonna be a great week. I'm gonna be productive and set some goals. And then you start to drag a little bit. It's Tuesday, and then Wednesday you think, all right, well, hey, I could still get some stuff done this week. Before we get into the weekend and people start throwing all those to crap, they go, oh, it's Saturday. Screw that. I'm not going to work out, or I'm just going to eat whatever I want to. I feel like it's a good day.
Yeah, definitely. You and I just got a group text message of some transformation pics that I think you took the first pic. So I'm not going to share them or anything, but that's fun. A new friend joining the fold.
Oh. It's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah. So here's the thing with progress pics, recognition, awareness points, I'm a big fan. I don't think it's necessary. Like, it's not like mandatory because some people have self-esteem issues and, they're concerned with how they look. But I really find for people to track where they're going and how far they've come, it's important. Whether you use tape measurements, you use pictures, you use your belt size, you use the scale, you use success points. Like you and I were working on success points as far as like walks, right? Like when we first started, like this most recent re-kick for our fitness together, we got you coming around the block, and the barometer was how much do we stop, or like how far are we going to go before we turn around, or are we going to make it all the way around, and then how quickly.
So the old house that I used to be at was by a school and like a football field and stuff, and we would literally get up I was the second house from the corner, so we would get to the corner, and then we would go down, maybe like not even 300 feet. And there would be a garbage can of the second stretch, and we'd be like, all right, let's turn around and go back. And like that was like a warm up. And then slowly it became like, well, let's go to where it drops off to a hill, which was like another 100 yards. And then it was like, all right, well, let's do the whole thing. And the whole thing was a mile, like the whole down the hill on the one side of the whole block around was just under a mile. And like at first it wasn't even a quarter of a mile that I would get, because mentally more than anything I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like I want to go back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a big hurdle that then didn't seem so big anymore. And then when we turned it around, do you remember when we turned it around? Because there were two hills, right? So I lived on the hill, and on the side that we would go down, the hill was steep. It was shorter, but it was like a 60-degree angle, 70-degree angle.
They both had some serious pitch.
and then the other one was like 3/4. It was like a little over a half a mile or a little over a quarter of a mile of a full like 40-degree pitch.
Just gradual.
Just gradual the whole way. And I thought that the long, arduous hill was bad, but then one day you were like, well, let's turn it around today. And I was like, no, maybe next week. And then the next week we did it, and it was fine. Like it took more of an energy burst to get up, and I was, I was literally like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my momentum and fall down this hill,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But it was good. So those progress points were huge for me.
Huge. And let's be honest, that was getting me huffing and puffing. That was getting you huffing and puffing. We're outside, we're working our legs, you're walking, you're getting cardio, you're getting sunshine. I mean,
it was like 95 degrees.
Oh, we would do it in any weather. You know, the
I'm
only time
always wearing black. So like it was just...
But that was such a great success point because it was measurable. Right? Like you knew, like, all right, we made it to the trash can this time. We made it past the trash can this time. We made it down the hill, back up the hill. Mm-hmm. You know, those little pieces are so important. Everybody is so stuck on getting on the scale, you know, or, you know, losing the weight or, you know, getting bigger biceps. I've always pushed people into the success points that they can measure all the time, because there's going to be a point, you know, this is why so many of those quick fixes and those 30-day challenges and the 90-day fixes and whatever somebody's selling you as a quick fix have success points, because I could put anybody on a short-term plan and see changes. But to maintain those steps and maintain those efforts, that's the hardest part. Like when you get, like for you, when you got to the point where we spun around the block, you know, like, okay, this is our warm up. We're going to spin around the block. If that was the only measurement, then the question is like, now what? Mm-hmm. Right? Like if your goal is to lose 10 pounds in the next 90 days or whatever it is, and you lose the 10 pounds, then what do you do? Right. You haven't set yourself up for trackable progress or for points that you can stay motivated with. Because I have people all the time that come to me and they're like, I'm losing my motivation, you know, or I really don't feel like I had the same drive I did when we first started. It's like, well, that's because you were so stuck on losing the weight first, you know, which folks, listen, don't get me wrong. My job as a health coach and a personal trainer and a fitness professional is to help people achieve their goals. So I'm not trying to dispel your goals. I'm just trying to get you to look at the broader picture. Look at more than just one step, more than just one trackable goal, because that will keep you going. It'll keep you excited, and you can keep moving the bar. You know, that's what we just kept doing with Ben, you know, one more driveway, right? We're going to go faster. You know, let's see how quickly we can get this done. Do we need to stop here? Can we keep moving through this? You know? Yep. And then it was, are you going to do this on your own? Right? Because you got started doing that. You were doing laps with Braden then.
Yeah, I did a couple laps with Braden. He didn't like the walk, so he refused to do it very much. But it would take me like almost a half an hour to do that walk. And this morning, in a half an hour, I walked a mile and a half leisurely. So that's not bad.
That's huge.
That's not bad.
How many steps?
35, I think. 3,500. 3,200.
And that took you half an hour.
Yeah.
So what's your goal? Your goal is 10, right?
So,
like right long term.
This is what happened last week. I decided on a whim on Monday morning that I would try 30 days to get to 10,000 steps, and I'm still going to do it. On Wednesday, literally, so I think that right before the show with you, I twisted my ankle.
Yeah.
Last week, I don't know if I said that on the show, but I twisted my ankle. I tweaked it a little bit. The next morning, it was snowing. The next morning, it was 30 degrees and snowing outside. And I got up at 7, and I got outside, and my ankle was a little tender. And I've been just walking. A lot of people walk on our street, and we're taking a lot of precautions and stuff. So I just have been walking. We have a pretty big backyard. You've never seen it, actually, Jay.
No.
But we have a decent-sized backyard, and I've just been doing laps around the yard, listening to music and doing emails and stuff. Well, that's not a good idea for me for the emails because it's a yard, and it's not super even, and it has holes in it and whatever. So I was going down and then around the tree on the hill at the bottom, and I noticed that when I made that pivot, it was like my ankle was pulling on my ankle a little bit to make the pivot up the hill. So I started walking just across the flat part up front here where we play soccer with Braden, and I filmed a video while I was walking, and then I was like, it was so cold, and I was like hyping myself up the whole time. I had gloves on and like a coat, and I stepped in a hole that I had never seen before, and my ankle went straight like this.
Jesus, Ben. Jesus.
And I fell on my face, on my shoulder and my face. And I was like, okay, I'm done walking for today. I've like cracked my ankle like playing basketball as a kid and football, and like many times my right ankle, like it's always been pretty bad. And I have like PTSD just of my ankle. Like if I think about rolling an ankle, it literally like it makes me want to like the same way as like if you think about death or something, like I'm like, oh God, no. So, but I was in the middle of the yard, and this says nothing good about my health for the longest time, but you can attest to this. I was in the middle of the yard. It's 7:30 in the morning. It's 30 degrees out, snowing, starting to snow. And I'm in the middle of the yard with nothing around, and I just sprained my ankle. And I'm like, how am I going to get up? Like, do I have to like call Dave and be like, get down here, like get out of bed and come help me up? Am I going to crawl to the steps, whatever? Because like, you know, I'm not the most athletic guy right now, especially. And like, I generally, like if I'm doing yoga or something, I'll have like a little ottoman there or something just to give a little boost up. And I was like, I haven't tried this in a really long time just because I haven't had to try it. And I just did a push-up and planted the leg that had just sprained the ankle. I planted that leg and I put the other leg out like a lunge. Yeah. And I just pushed up and I got up like no problem, first try, no like whatever. And then I stood up and I immediately limped. And I was like, all right, going inside, taking my shoe off and like resting for the rest of the day. So, but I was so proud of getting back up in that moment. And then my ankle did hurt for like, you know, a week. So today was the first day back out walking.
Nice.
Because I was listening to my body, right? Like I didn't want to
segue.
Yeah. I didn't want to aggravate it, and I knew that like where I'm at right now in my life, in my like fitness journey, whatever, where I'm at in my life and my fitness journey and whatever, like it doesn't matter that much if I don't get out here and walk 10,000 steps for a week. It doesn't matter all that much.
No.
If I, you know, don't eat like complete garbage, if I drink water, if I get sleep, and if I move around the house while my ankle doesn't feel great, then I'll be okay. And I did. I spent a ton of time like cleaning and reorganizing my room and making food for myself and like walking around the kitchen and stuff. And you know, I was like, let's just be more active indoors while, and we had a couple crappy days too. Yeah. And I was like, you know, let's just get more. I think I just got bit by a spider or something. Let's just get more action indoors while I can. So that's what I did. And then this morning it was beautiful out and I looked at the weather and I had some time and I was like, all right, go out and do it. And the first like couple laps, I kept looking at the hole that I fell in and it was literally giving me anxiety, like to the point where like I slowed down my step and I was like, I didn't take my eyes off the ground in front of me. But I listened to my body and it healed, and now I feel better.
Huge.
Yeah.
But just before we go further from here, I want to hit on a couple points that you just touched on. Get up. Huge. Congratulations, man. That is a big lesson. And there are memes out there, and there are, all kinds of other ways of saying just get up. I have a very good friend of mine who has a very significant tattoo that says, but the fighter still remains. And that kind of phraseology, that kind of mantra, that kind of like keep moving forward is so powerful. We all deal with shit. We all get knocked down. It's not a big deal necessarily, or it's not the point, right? It's about what happens afterwards. It's how you respond. It's what you choose to do from that moment. Get up. Keep moving forward. Yeah. And agreed, Mom. Falling will give you anxiety no matter what kind of shape you're in. Exactly. And my first suggestion is what we're talking about today, continuing this conversation from last week, which is listen to your body. Don't immediately jump up. When you fall, pause and lay there. Take a quick check. Run through your system, wiggle some fingers and toes. Make sure that everything is working the way that it's supposed to before you jump back up again. But your first thought should be next step. Right? Damn right. Real Rocky vibes, right, Meg? And carefully, right? Like be careful, be cautious, be conscious of the fact that you just fell down the steps or that you just tumbled somewhere. But in that note, I want to talk about the focus, right? Like, so no treadmill, no bike, no elliptical, no gym. Like, what am I going to do? You can certainly walk around your property. You can certainly go up and down the steps in your house. You can certainly do laps around your house. I have had multiple clients tell me that through this whole experience, they have been just doing laps around their house. They go around the island and up the steps and back down again. People tell me in the same breath, I can't get to the gym. I can't get my cardio in. No, you have made excuses. You have options. You can move. And if you're sitting somewhere listening to this and you're thinking that you don't know what to do, call me, email me, text me, find me, and I will help you put together a movement-based cardio program that you can do in your living room. Because the truth is, it's just about moving your body and staying consistent with it. But on a quick note, as far as safety is concerned, I think Ben learned the lesson. Listen to your body also means when you're doing something like fitness, when you're carving time out of your life to do that, don't multitask too heavily, right? So bring the phone, listen to some music. Bring the phone, listen to a podcast. Bring the phone, listen to some calming sounds, whatever works to you as far as an auditory intake, but clear your face, clear your vision, clear your space so that what you're doing is dedicated to what you're doing. Put your intentions into it, put your energy into it. So many of us are caught multitasking and trying to do multiple things with the phone going and emails and text messages and, just shut it down. Give yourself the time. Take the 15, 20, 30, whatever minutes you're dedicating to this and disconnect a little bit from the workload, from the chaos. Call somebody and talk to them, but put your focus and your energy into what you're currently doing. And Mom, we're going to say it exactly right. Mindfulness, because then you're aware of your cardio. You're aware of your heart rate. You're aware of your breathing. You're aware of your foot placement and your locality.
All right.
Right?
I get it. I messed up.
But you learned a good lesson.
So my my phone is, I don't have a pedometer so like Allie has an Apple Watch and I keep saying, oh, that's like, should I get an Apple Watch? I didn't realize how relatively inexpensive they were. And like, and they were like, Dave and Allie were like, do not under any circumstances, Ben, get an Apple Watch. It checks your heart rate. It tells you when to stay. You will be freaking out. You have so much somatic anxiety. You will be freaking out every 5 seconds. You'll be looking at it. I've gotten 14 messages of other emails and messages since since I last checked 10 minutes ago on this show on my phone. All of those things going to my wrist would be terrible for me, and the constant like warnings of like, hey, your heart rate's too high, or like that would drive me insane. And I get that, and I'm afraid of getting a Fitbit for the same reason.
Why?
Like not
because
because of the heart rate and stuff as well on it. Like I almost would rather not know at this point right now, while my anxiety is still high about these things. But I'm wondering if there's just like a normal pedometer that just counts steps that I could grab
at the dollar store.
Yeah,
Like
so
legit pedometer, straight up clip on you.
So the phone, something that it tracks on the health app. I use my MyFitnessPal to count the steps, which I know isn't the most accurate thing in the world, but
tracking.
But the health app on the iPhone also tracks your steps, and it also tracks like flights of stairs. Mm-hmm. And we have two flights of stairs in the house. So I'm like, I walk upstairs all the time, and it's like you haven't walked up a flight of stairs since like last Thursday. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, I walk up steps like every day. What is that talking? And it's because it's 2 landings. Like, it doesn't count it as like 10 steps or whatever, because it's like 8 and then 8. Because it's a raised ranch. And I'm like, you can shut off those alerts. Thank you, Megan. Please text my friends and tell them it's okay that I can get an Apple Watch. But so my next goal is that there is a large staircase to our deck. And I'm going to start doing trips up that and back down that just for fun for like a half hour straight.
I like it.
Yeah. I also, so last Wednesday I did 30 minutes of walking around the house at 8 a.m. to 8:30. And then I did a couple other things. And then for like 5 to 10 minutes, posted some stuff for clients and whatnot. And then I did another 30 minutes. And then I did a third 30 minutes or 20 minutes that I had. And I got like to 5,000 or 6,000 steps last Wednesday when I talked to you before like 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And my thought today was I could do that. I could do that again. Or like mentally, I'm a little anxious walking out in the yard right now. I'm still not completely confident in my footing with my right leg. I have all of this equipment. Why don't I take that half hour that I would have done the second one, and who gives a shit about the steps, and use the weights and everything in my room? So I did that for the half hour between my 10:30 and you.
Nice.
So I did 3 sets of bicep curls, 3 sets of incline bench press, 3 sets of squats, 3 sets of ball slams. Ball slams are my favorite.
Uh-huh.
And then 3 sets of just the mountain pose, the whole like that like morning routine stretch in yoga, just to stretch everything out before I did the arms and stuff. And it was great.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
And then later, I still have that heavy bag that I'm supposed to that I might have to set up. I'm not supposed to, but I want to set it up, and it's still in my garage, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm excited to do that.
You're going to be so psyched once you get that set up.
I know.
I used to teach an armchair aerobic program for people who are having problems with their legs for whatever reason. Yeah, because you can do whatever you want, right? Yep. You can always do something. And I've told people that for the longest time, because, somebody like yourself, if they were coming in on a regular basis to see me and they rolled an ankle, I would say that's awful, but still come in.
Right.
I can certainly figure out a workout for you. We're just not going to be doing plyos today. You're not going to have to do any single leg deadlifts today.
And you and I did that. And we talked about that last week, actually, that like your first question when we're doing the stretches and stuff at the beginning, the warm-ups, your first question is, how you feel today? Is anything wrong? Is anything hurting? Like, is there anything we need to avoid? And like, sometimes I'd be like, yeah, I slept wrong on my neck. And you'd be like, okay, well, whatever it was, like, we're not doing shoulder presses today.
Right. And we need to stretch that. You need to address it. Folks, this is part that we talked about Yeah, I agree with that too, Mom. Speed bag is great cardio. There's phenomenal options out there for the in-home stuff. It's so important to listen to your body and not listen to it necessarily like to that child side, right? Like talked about that like whiny side who's like, I don't wanna. No, what we're talking about is listening to your body as far as what it is saying to you. It's important to move your body. What we got here? Dana says, I find electronics are a distraction. I like to put music on and go, one ear. We walk on a road that is all broken up, so I need to focus on my steps. I love that. I love the one ear thing because that means you can tune in, hear some nice music, have some background, kind of shut off some of the bzzz in our own heads, but also not be distracted. It's a good way of saying that, actually, because it's the truth. Have your focus be on what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with some background music, but it shouldn't be distracting to your safety, right? And keep moving with it. So the other piece I want to talk about today in relations to listening to your body is our food intake. How many times have we eaten something where you immediately go to the bathroom or you immediately feel like crap afterwards, or you know that you're going to have indigestion from it, and yet people still eat it? Folks, if you're not feeling good after you eat something, write it down. Keep track. Keep track for a month. Just write down like happy face, sad face kind of stuff. Just a negative and a positive. I feel great when I eat this. I feel shitty when I eat that. Because while there are constants within our worlds of foods that are good for you and foods that are generally thought to be bad for you, there are specifically based on your own chemical system, things that are better for your system and things that are worse for your system. There are things that are more inflammatory to your body and things that are less inflammatory to your body. And that has to do with your blood type. That has to do with your hereditary background. It has to do with your genetic makeup. It has to do with allergies. It has a lot to do with who you are subjectively as a human being. And I meet people all the time that don't pay attention to that. They just eat whatever they feel like.
We had pizza last night.
Yeah, like gluten, like cheese, like bread. Where'd you get it from?
Domino's. We had Domino's pizza last night.
Go back and forth on that.
And it was a chicken bacon ranch, which is, I love their gluten-free chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah.
Specifically, and a sausage and spinach, I think. Sausage, spinach, and garlic. So we don't get pizza very often. I think the last time that we got it was Braden's birthday, which was a month ago. And before that, maybe another month, like once a month, we'll get pizza from somewhere. And the last couple times that we had pizza, we're in the throes of my anxiety, right? And pizza is heavy, it's greasy, it gives you heartburn, like it can at least, and it does for me. And those things, and like if I eat a significant amount of it, like I'll get like gas, and then like I'll feel uncomfortable, and then like that sends me into an anxiety attack because that's the type of anxiety that I have. And so I've been very cautious, like even before my anxiety got really, really bad in March. I've been really cautious about eating pizza. And last night we got it, and I've been feeling real good for like I've been feeling really good for like 2 weeks now. And so I was like, shit, like, is this going to give me anxiety? Is this a bad idea? Just do it. You feel good. It's mostly your head. Just do it. And I ate the pizza. And I was like, about 20 minutes later, I was like, I feel like shit. I'm not anxious. I don't feel like I'm going to die right now because of it. I don't feel like I had too much sodium and my heart's going to explode right now. Like I'm not hyper fixating on my anxiety.
Good.
But I do feel like crap. I do have the indigestion immediately. I do feel it, like, and I was like, okay, well noted. I don't like pizza that much. It tastes good, but it's really not good. Like, if we're going to get pizza from somewhere, maybe we get pizza from somewhere and I have a slice of it and a salad. like with chicken or something. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is that I decide to eat that day. But like maybe pizza as a meal is not a thing for me anymore.
Maybe.
You know?
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
So this is what I always suggest with this. It's simplify it. Bring it back down to a basic. Get just a cheese pizza.
Right. Well, no, I mean the cheese pizza was the ones that were giving me anxiety really bad too. Like,
so you have noted that?
so last night was Domino's, but in general, it's been like good pizza, like, you know, like really like high quality pizza, like Vetrano's and Pizza Place and everything.
Yeah.
Like they'll do the same things to me, physically.
Yeah.
As far as like indigestion and heartburn and like anxiety goes, and like being flush and all of it. I mean, I don't do well with cheese, and I don't think I do well with gluten either. So like all of those things together make a. But the point that I'm trying to make was that I was like, okay, listen to your body. Like, you know, it tastes good. No one's going to deny that pizza tastes amazing. There is no such thing as bad pizza. Bad pizza is still pizza. It's great. We are going to. I used to eat. Like growing up, and this is going to be no surprise to anybody, but my mom used to get like the Mama Celeste pizzas, like the 50-cent like toaster oven or microwave pizzas, and I would eat those. We haven't had an oven in like 6 months, but we haven't had an oven in like 6 months, and we are finally gonna get one replaced in like, you know, like a couple weeks, and and Dave and I were like, we have to make a video where we're like, we are so grateful to finally have an oven, and then throw a Mama Celeste in there.
Just for old time's sake.
Just to make a video of like, we're so grateful we finally have an oven. We couldn't wait to do this, and then just take a Mama Celeste, put it in, and then like this is what we've been waiting for the whole time. A shitty microwaved pizza.
America.
Yeah. If you don't like to cook, this is not relevant, but I have found that making sourdough pizza crust and putting my own toppings on really makes a huge difference. We before the oven broke, we had been making our own pizzas once a week for a while, and it was a pizza night that Braden loved, and those definitely did not affect me as much as store-bought pizza.
Right?
False. There is such thing as pizza not done properly. Yes. There is a certain pizza place in town that undercooks their pizza, and it's very thick pizza. And we don't get that pizza anymore. But it was still good. Like, I still ate it for like a couple of years. And we very affectionately refer to that pizza as Doughy Lawrence. Joey Lawrence. We have been doing our own crusts, or getting cauliflower crusts are not bad. I use gluten-free flour too. If you do get Domino's, the gluten-free tapioca crust is phenomenal.
So that pertains to a lot of things. And we've had a couple comments here, folks, about making your own stuff. This is probably one of the simplest fixes to most people's nutrition problems. If you just legitimately, consciously choose to start cooking your own food, it's actually one of my favorite diets. You can eat whatever you want as long as you make it. As long as you make it. Make it yourself. Have pizza. And the perfect example is what you just said, right? Like, you guys were doing pizza once a week, and you legitimately did not feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Make your own dough. It's not that hard. I mean, we're literally talking about flour, yeast, a little bit of salt and oil and water. And that's pizza dough. It's not that hard. And let's be fine.
Can I just say,
there's a YouTube video.
You went to Johnson and Wales,
mm-hmm.
and like, are you a chef? Like, for like, or a...
So I am
looked at your
classically
bio
trained.
last week. Yeah, I looked at your bio for the first time. I put it on your freaking website. I put your bio on your website and I never read it. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a second. This guy's a shit. No wonder why he's such a foodie. No wonder why every conversation that we have, he talks about the food that he went and got or the food that he made.
Well, I'm lucky. So I was raised to cook a lot. My mom cooked a lot. She made a lot from scratch. In fact, made most things from scratch for us. And that instilled a love of food. My grandparents both got me into cooking. My grandmother used to, my mom loves telling the story about my grandmother giving me like lobster and avocado when I was like 2 or 3 years old. But yes, I went to Johnson & Wales. I am classically trained, but I'm careful to take the label or the title of chef because I believe that is an earned title. Most of my professional experience was spent in the front of the house. It doesn't surprise anybody that knows me that I'd rather talk to people than be hiding in the kitchen. But I can certainly cook. I can definitely cook.
What year did you go?
I was 96 through 2000 because it's 2 years of culinary degree and then 2 years of business management because I knew I didn't want to be in the kitchen the rest of my life. And I knew that I had to have the experience and the degrees to be driving myself in the future. And I'm super grateful for that because like you just said, I can talk food.
You would have, she didn't go because she passed away before she graduated high school. But my sister got accepted to Johnson & Wales and would have been there at the same time.
The same grade. Oh, you're kidding me. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We might have met sooner, Benjamin. But we met when we were supposed to.
Absolutely. All right.
But yes,
we made, by the way, we took your advice a month ago and made Big Macs.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Go ahead.
Well, I don't
talk about folks. So if you aren't sure, but you haven't heard this part, I crave Big Macs occasionally. Like I'll get this craving. I mean, it's easy to pass by a fast food joint and smell it and think, "Ooh, that'll sound good." But you know as well as I do that whenever you buy it from the store, it never tastes as good as you want it to. It tastes exactly the same as it used to because that's how they do it, but it's never as good. And like we're talking about, if you're going to make it from scratch, eat it for real, and it'll satisfy the craving. And I've said that to Ben before. So now he's taking it and running with it.
So I didn't do it. Was all Allie and Dave. I don't think Allie's ever had a Big Mac.
Ooh.
But she made them.
Ooh.
And she made like smash burgers almost.
Uh-huh.
And they made the sauce and cut up the lettuce and the onions and everything. And they even put the middle bun on. And I was like, I didn't enjoy it because it was mid-March and I was like every day I was like thinking I was dying because of my anxiety attacks. So I was like, I'm not like, so I ate it like as fast as I could, which also didn't help. And then freaked out for the rest of the night. So I don't remember how it was. I don't remember what it tastes like. I know that I used some of the sauce the next day on the salad, but it was good. So you'd have to ask them. I believe that they loved it and I can't wait to try it again.
Yeah.
I will, once we're all fully vaccinated and like we you know, like frivolous trips will be fine. Cause we take everything to the 10th degree in our house. I will probably get one more Big Mac before because my assumption is that I'm going to go back to like 90% no meat.
Yeah.
But actually, while I was vegetarian for a little while, I did get a Big Mac with no meat. Because I had like a day a month where I would have like cheese.
Yeah.
And I would just be vegetarian for that one day every month. And I got a Big Mac with no meat, and it literally, the meat has no flavor in a Big Mac. If you got a Big Mac with no meat, it changes it. Not at all. Literally, their burgers don't taste like anything.
Says a lot about the quality, right?
Yeah. So maybe I'll do that. But
well, and we've talked about that, right? Like if you're going to make it yourself, whether you buy the buns or not, you should make the buns. They're easy to make bread. You make the burgers, you're going to get real meat. You're going to put quality and thought and love behind it, because that's been proven too. Just like we're talking about with your intentions in your workouts, put intentions into your food. Think about why you're making it. Think about enjoying it. It comes out in the flavor. Dana says, I made my own sweet potato bean burger last night. Ooh, that sounds amazing.
I made black bean and red pepper burgers
Nice.
a couple years ago, and they were awesome. Dana, send me that recipe.
Yeah.
Send me that recipe.
Put it up.
I love black bean burgers. I always have. Actually, that's a good reminder that I have black bean burgers in the freezer that I haven't eaten.
There you go.
So anyway, you know what I love, Jay, is that this show, like, I know that you at least at one point were a Rogan fan.
Still.
And I, like, sometimes I'm like, I kind of wish that this show was 3 hours. because the conversations with you are always just so free flowing, and like, you know, sometimes I dominate them for too long and we go on weird tangents, and I'm like, I would love to just have this conversation for like 3 hours, because it could go in so many different directions. And you know, the it's Listen to Your Body part 2 is what we're doing today. And we've spent so much time talking about Domino's and McDonald's and Johnson and Wales and you know, but it all fits, right? It's all about listening to your body. Like, that's the, yeah. Dana, Peg also would like your recipe for the sweet potato black bean burger.
Nice.
So
throw it on the Thrive Facebook page, please.
Jason is my favorite person to talk to also.
Rocky must not be listening then. Rocky, I love you. If she doesn't love you. You know, the truth is, that's the beauty of this, Ben, that we can be real. You can be honest. You can be vulnerable, but we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
And carry it on and bring it back to the realities, right? Like, have it pertain to this, the benefit of it. And on that note, folks, if you're out there listening and you would like to hear us talk about something in particular that we can run tangents around and into, shoot me a message. All right. Shoot me a text, shoot Ben a message, shoot us a text, shoot something up on the Facebook page, or comment on one of the podcasts, and we'll talk about it. The point of this podcast is to be here for you. That's my job. That's what I get up for in the morning. And it's why I started doing this. Ben kept saying we should do this because people will want to listen. And I didn't believe him. I still don't, but it's still fun to do.
Can we get a poll going right now of everyone that's watching? Just yes or no. Should I get one more buzz cut, or should I just wait the month or so until I'll go get a haircut for real? Should I get one more buzz cut, or just let this grow for another month?
That's a great question, actually.
Because this is getting bad.
So is it just all or nothing? Like buzz cut or nothing?
Buzz cut or nothing until you know, everyone in the house is vaccinated.
Why not just a cleanup? Why not just a cleanup?
Who's doing that? I'm not doing that.
Allie, she's getting great at this, man. She's been
mess
cutting all 3 of your hair.
I'm gonna mess it up. She hates. She did it like decent for. I think we should have a challenge. If you make it, you can eat it.
Yes. That's my favorite diet.
Peg says buzz it.
Mom says buzz it.
Meg says buzz it. Dana says buzz it.
I think we're buzzing it, buddy.
It's only a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
It's only a couple more weeks, right?
And it'll save you time, man.
But then if I buzz it, I have to wait longer to get a real haircut. Because
the public spoke. The public spoke. You asked for the public.
They did speak.
Trust me, speaking from experience, it's not easier to buzz your hair. Folks out there, they always say that. You don't have to think about your hair. Yeah, I do. Every week. My wife gets her hair cut every couple of months. I cut my hair every week. I just don't think about it all day. That's the difference.
Don't ask if you don't like these.
Love you, Meg.
All right.
Yeah, right.
Well,
So let's finish on that note, because that's a great note to finish on. Folks, listen to your body out there, right? If whatever you're doing, whether it's food, fitness, or anything else that you're doing out there, pay attention. Your body will speak to you, and don't listen to the child side. The child side is a brat. Listen to your true self. All right. Thank you for listening wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We appreciate you, whether you're live or you're listening to this recorded. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking time out of your day. If you have any questions related to your health and fitness, please reach out. That's what we're here for. ThriveTrainingTeam.com is the website. All the social media links and email contacts are on there. If you ever have any questions, don't be shy. That's what we do. And if you want us here, if you would like to hear us talk about anything in particular on the podcast, please message me. You can reach me at the ThriveTrainingTeam.com website or comment on one of these podcasts, something that you'd like to hear us talk about. Otherwise, have a great and healthy day, folks. Love you. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
For more information, tips, and workouts of the day, check out ThriveTrainingTeam.com.